was poised. I was shocked. I mean, at first, it was bad because that offensive line really did him terrible yesterday, especially that right side. Eric Pierce. For the life of me, even from the moment they got him, I have not liked him.
Are you listening?
Well, at least we're not the Eagles or Bears. I would be caught dead one of those jerseys right now, so we can feel good about being 49ers. Read on Twitter, something I think we should just hold on to and embrace for the rest of the season, because we're going to lose a few more games. Well, maybe not a few more, maybe just a couple of more. But this is the quote. The real faithful takes the punches and kicks and continues to smile. And I want to congratulate the Pittsburg Steelers on a job well done. They just kicked our butt up and down that field, and kudos to you. You see, Hawks fans, that's what you call giving respect to your superiors. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the winningest franchise in Super Bowl history. I gave them their props. I didn't run any smack, I didn't talk any trash. Just tell them congratulations on a job well done. So you guys continue to run that format of talking. I can't even say it on the air. I could, but I won't. But you guys continue to talk that smack and you have no respect and you're way out of line. Okay, let's not dwell on the Hawks right now. They've got problems of their own at being an 0-2. And they could be worse this weekend as they continue to implode. A lot of teachable moments in that game with the Steelers, and I do appreciate it for one thing, because our secondary, there was a lot of learning being done, in particular by Kenneth Acker, who said he had some triumphant moments, although they didn't show up very often. In fact, I don't remember any. But to deal with Antonio Brown was something that he can actually gain from and carry on right into this game coming up this weekend with the Arizona Cardinals. And it could be of a huge benefit because the fact is, Cardinals, their game may be similar to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they are not the Pittsburgh Steelers. In fact, they're a level below. And when I say that, Carson Palmer, yes, I do have respect for him, but he is no Ben Roethlisberger, okay? Roethlisberger can thread a needle 50 yards downfield. Carson, I think we'll see some INTs from him this weekend. Also, John Brown, Larry Fitzgerald, boy, you guys can play some football, but both of you do not equal one Antonio Brown. So, therefore, I think we'll be ready. And also a game plan being put in place for the Cardinals, a whole week of practice to get ready for them as well. I think we'll be ready. So Cardinals, we're coming to town. Oh, let's dance. By the way, I see the domination over Chicago and New Orleans as no big deal. It's like an extended preseason for you to begin with. This is going to be the first real test the Cardinals are going to have coming up this weekend. So therefore, I like our chances. Let's talk about Colin Kaepernick, the MVP of this game. Colin was razor sharp on most occasions. After the first half adjustment, Colin comes out, he's throwing the ball, he's hitting receivers. We only had a few mistakes. 335 yards of beautiful offense. He hasn't done that in how long? It would have been better than that had there not been a couple of drops from some very experienced people like Anquan Bolden and Vernon Davis. Easy gimmies. Colin could have been around 360 to 70 yards when I think about it. And then you have the missed pass by Bruce Miller in the end zone. Fell down and fumbled it. I have no idea how a guy with hands like his made a mistake like that. Okay, we can move on from that. We got another game coming up this weekend. Colin, kudos, man. You got the whole empire marching behind you, bruh. Keep it up. You know what kills me? If Colin, in this winning effort last week, this losing effort, he looks better in the losing effort than he did the winning effort. If he's going to evolve each and every week, what can we expect from Colin Kaepernick this weekend? I'm looking so forward to that. So, with that said, let's go to the cam right now and get your opinion of this game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fam, I got somebody for you to meet. You probably already know him too. His name is JT of Magnum Sports. JT, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Awesome. I'd be a lot better if we could come off with this conversation today talking about a win, but since that's not the case, it's okay. The guys that are out there crying about the sky is falling are already at it. I've had enough confrontations with them. Now for a positive conversation with you, I'm delighted, man. And you're in New York City, is that right?
I used to live in New York City. I'm in upstate New York now. I used to live in Queens.
All right. Now that's serious New York there. Queens, all those boroughs, the famous boroughs in New York City, they're all legendary.
Yeah.
Tell us about Magnum Sports, my man.
Magnum Sports Network is something that I created originally for, it was for gaming, actually, for sports gaming. Then I decided, you know what, I'm going to start just talking about sports in general. So I started doing some Niner news, and then I started doing some random sports stuff. And then I decided to create a fantasy football show with my friend. And it's been one after the other, show after show after show we've been doing together. And starting to pick up now that fantasy football and obviously, the 49ers are back up and running and playing.
You know what's really funny about that? You mentioned that, and I was listening to a guy on the radio who says, I'd stay away from Colin Kaepernick this week. As you know, some guys are always making suggestions on guys who are going to pile up the stats. And Colin had a stat bonanza.
Yeah, I had him up on my website as a must start, actually, or a sleeper for the week. And he did me proud.
Good. Let's get right to that game. Now, I don't know if we call it stubborn or what, but we did not abandon the ground game immediately upon finding out that the ground game was not going to work. Would you have stayed with that? Now, we know what we know now, but was that a good idea? Even during at the time that was going on, you think it was a good idea to stay with the run game instead of going right to the air attack?
Well, you got to look at it from two different perspectives. I understand why they went to the ground game or why they kept going to the ground game. The idea is if it works, it keeps Pittsburgh's offense off the field. It keeps the defense well rested, and then, you can do your thing. Problem is, it wasn't working. And it got to the point where every time the Pittsburgh offense got to the field, the defense just couldn't stop them. And it came to a point where we were down at one point 29-3, and they were still trying to run the ball. And I'm like, all right, stop. It's got to stop. That's when you stop. Like, you're down by 2 or 3 scores. Now it's time to pass the ball. They had success passing the ball. Pittsburgh's weakness was defending the pass. So my thing is, they should have started with a passing game, not trying to establish their running game. They should have opened it up so that Pittsburgh would have no choice but to defend the pass and then run the ball on them and make some tempo that way. But they didn't do it that way, unfortunately. And back in years past, it got to the point where Harbaugh would do that same thing too as well. And I would hope they got out of that. And I think they probably learned their lesson now. That was the first game where they've learned it. And they kind of were talking about it, that they should have started passing sooner. So at least they acknowledged it. At least they saw what was coming, and they'll probably get out of it, especially with the way Cap was delivering. And there was drops. There could have been more points for the 49ers yesterday, and there was some drops. I was upset at some of those drops, but Cap was delivering.
Yeah. Now, you know what though? Before we get into Cap, the secondary. JT, do you think the secondary is as bad as it looked? Or was that a result of us not even getting close? There was no hurries on Ben Roethlisberger. All game long, he was sitting back there comfortably just firing the ball, looking for his receivers, moving around, making sure they were clear. And sure enough, he got what he wanted.
Yeah, I don't think it's a mix of just bad, not the play calling, but bad execution. And they're young. It's a young secondary, and they're going to be good. They're going to learn from this. You get growing pains. You face good teams. Pittsburgh is a playoff caliber team. We're talking about a really good, quarterback that's been to Super Bowls, won them. He knows how to attack blitzes. He knows how to attack, read coverages. He's not a stupid quarterback. And they got their butts handed to them. They lesson learned. But they aren't a bad squad. You've seen them. They're able to cover wide receivers. Problem is, they just had a bad game yesterday. And that included the safeties. Antoine Bethea and Eric Reed Eric Reed's not as much as a veteran as Antoine Bethea, but both of them were having problems too in the secondary yesterday. The linebackers were having problems in the coverage. At one point, I saw Michael Wilhoit covering Marcus Wheaton down the field, which I didn't know what happened there. It was just blown coverages all over the place. They'll shore it up. They'll fix it. Just like Tom Sula said, own it, fix it. They'll figure it out.
Get over it, yeah. Now, let's talk about a fun thing. Colin Kaepernick, as you've alluded to already, he was hitting shots. perfectly. He was going through his reads, the progressions, everything was right. He wasn't panicking. He took off a couple of times, but they were good takeoffs.
Yeah, he made some good runs, but he was poised. I was shocked. I mean, at first it was bad because that offensive line really did him terrible yesterday, especially that right side. Eric Pierce. For the life of me, even from the moment they got him, I have not liked him. I live in upstate New York near Buffalo. I know who Eric Pierce is. I've watched him play. I watch Bills games all the time because they're the local team that's on all the time. So I'm always on with them, and I always have the other TV on, the NFL Sunday Ticket. Yes. So, and that's how I watch the Niners. But I have watched him play. He is absolute horrible. And when they got him, I was like, why, dude, why? And this is the reason why. He sucks. And poor Kaepernick, I mean, he snaps the ball, and they're already there. There was one point where three guys came from, all three directions, and poor Cap didn't do anything but go backwards. And that is the one thing I don't want Cap to do. And he's got to learn. I was fine with Cap yesterday. He was very poised in the pocket. He started to settle down, and he started to make some good reads and everything. But the one thing he's got to learn to do is when they come rushing up the middle and the sides, he has a habit to backtail or trail backwards and try to make a play and try to run around to hopefully get out of it. But instead of doing that, when they're coming from all three directions, Tom Brady does this best. Lay down. You're sacked. Just lay down. If you can't push up in the pocket because somebody's coming up the middle and somebody's coming from this side and you're going to get sacked, and don't try to get out of it by going 9 yards back. Just lay down. Take your sack. Take your 2, 3, 4 yard loss and move on to the next play. But that's what he's got to learn. Sometimes he loses a lot of yards doing that. And he doesn't throw the ball away when he goes to the sidelines either sometimes.
I know. That is still, I did notice that. He did that about 3 times. That was a fail. But for the most part, he still maintained composure. And you know what else would be nice with Cap? Start doing the Russell Wilson. Start doing the Aaron Rodgers. Do a little dance around, left, right. Run. If the pursuit is coming this way, step in front of it. But like I said, don't run the other way. So maybe we're going to see that. He's growing. So maybe this weekend we can see that he'll do a little bit more of that. Because the more you dance around and give your receivers time to get loose from that defender, the better opportunities you got.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So, and quickly, now Carson Palmer, like we were talking about a few minutes ago, Carson Palmer is a lot what we've just seen this past weekend. What are you going to do on defense for Carson?
You got to be careful of the screen game. You got to be careful. I would still blitz him. If you let him sit back there like Ben Roethlisberger did, then you're going to have problems. And Arizona doesn't have the best offensive line in the world. I know Carson Palmer hasn't taken a sack yet, but you got to also think they played the Bears and they played the Saints, both of which have no pass rush whatsoever. I mean, absolutely none. I mean, the Bears have what? Jared Allen, if they even do they have him still? I think he made an interception yesterday. Okay. That was it. He got a tip pass and got one. But still, they have no pass rush whatsoever, and he's been able to just sit back there and just pick apart the defense, which also the Bears and the Saints have no secondary. So now comes the 49er team. They're a little bit more talented on defense than those two teams, and he's going to have some problems, especially if they blitz. They have two offensive linemen out, and they have one in Iapati, who we know very well, who might play. If he plays, he's going to play hurt, and when he plays hurt, he gets beat. And so he's one of those guys that I'm looking forward to. I hope he does play, because if they do decide to pass, maybe we'll blitz on him and push him back a little bit, because he plays a little gingerly when he gets hurt.
Oh yeah, and I thought he was out. I thought he was out indefinitely.
He's trying to come back for this game. He really wants to play this game. I guess he wants a piece of the 49ers.
Real quickly, are we going to win this game?
I hope so. I have them as a win. I penciled them as a win in this game. At first, I didn't think that it was possible to win in Arizona, because the last couple of years we've had problems with them. We've had problems with a lot of things. I'm not going to get into the whole excuses thing, but I think we can beat them. I know defensively we can hang with them, and also offensively now with the way this offense is playing with the speed, we can definitely hang with them now. But before, like last year, we had some problems because we had no speed on the outside, and they were able just to blitz at will when they wanted to. So now if they do that, Cap might hurt them.
Yes, indeed. I'm looking forward to that. You can't get away, JT. You got to give me some holla, man. I'm going to give you the 3, 2, and 1.
Niners!
He's been working on that. That was too good.
I was, man. I was in the car doing it on the way home from work. I admit it.
Yes. Thank you, JT. Well, we got the Cardinals coming up this weekend, and of course, after the game, we will get together again on Google Hangouts, or should I say Google Hangouts on air. Now, what you need to do, if you don't have a Google account, get the Google account. And then, of course, you're going to have to download the app. I told you that you could actually use your computer. Let's make that correction right now. As we went through 2 weeks, computers seem to have a little bit of a lag. Do not forget your headphones. Listen, if you have any questions, take a look at this right here. Click on, and the full instruction is there. Now remember, I said try to avoid using your computer. Let's just use the phone and use your headphones or your earbuds. You will be thrown out if you don't use your earbuds. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. There's an awful echo. Follow the instruction and you'll be fine, all right? And we will do that this weekend. And also, before the game, you'll get a link. I'll post that, and all you need to do is click onto the link, and that'll take you right into the conversation. We're gonna do it a little different this weekend, so we get more people in and out. And also, I had a request from a Hawks fan. Hawks fans, you're welcome to join. I never told you guys, Raider fans, we had Raider fans last weekend. Come on in, it's okay. If you get out of line, I'm just gonna throw you out anyway. So come on in and join the conversation. You may have some input that we might even be interested in. Raiders were all pumped up last week because they won a football game. Let's see if we can do it 2 weeks in a row. Anyway, I'll be looking forward to seeing you on Google Hangouts on air this weekend, about 30 minutes after the game, okay? Ooh, and don't forget to subscribe so you know when I'm looking for you, all right? See you this weekend. And the link will be on Google+, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm telling you right now, there's no excuse for not being there. I'll see you this weekend. Countdown, dude. Where you at, man?
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have these secrets.